everyone, welcome back to The Upgrade, where we discuss upgrading your home, your finances, but ultimately your life. In today's video, we're going to be talking about sinking funds. Now, if you don't know what a sinking fund is, that is basically a savings account that you plan on sinking. You plan on taking the funds out eventually. It's not a regular just stash of savings. It's something that you plan on using one day once you get to your goal. Today I'll be going over the different types of sinking funds that I have personally, and also some that I am looking for in the near future, or just even some that you may want to have. So make sure that in the comments you let me know if you have a sinking fund, how many you have, or what is it used for. Also make sure you give this video a thumbs up if it helps, and let's get started. Number one is my travel sinking fund. I use that every year and I stash it at the beginning of the year when I get my tax money. But this fund is usually for any trips that I have planned throughout the year, and also unexpected trips. Because of COVID, flights and hotels are not as expensive, so I don't have to put too much money in, but I put a good enough amount because you have to include flights, rental cars, gas, but then I also put enough for any emergency trips. For example, last year my niece had a baby shower in Miami, so we had the money ready to go, right? So it's always good to put the money that you plan on spending and then a little extra. Next is my event money. Now this is for if me and my son maybe want to do something one weekend, I'll dip into that for that. Baby showers, birthday parties, you know, you want to get somebody a birthday gift, things like that. Different events that may come up throughout the year. Disney on Ice might come. I want to be able to dip into that for that. Now, like I said, I don't put that much money in there, but it is nice to have, because sometimes you don't want to use your own money. Like maybe you already have your budget set for that month and you're like, oh shoot, it's so-and-so's birthday, I need to get them a gift, and now you have to use your money, when instead you could have just dipped into that fund and got the money out. Throughout the year, my job will give us like different gift cards to different places. I'll use that for event money as well. So for example, my niece, for her baby shower, she had some gifts that she really wanted, like a white warmer and things like that. I had the gift cards ready, so I was just like, here, 10 on this one, 10 on this one. We were able to get all of our gifts using that gift card because I just hold on to them throughout the year. So keep that in mind too. If you get gift cards throughout the year, I mean, yeah, of course you want to spend it on yourself, but you can also use it for your event money. Number three is the Christmas savings. I always talk about Christmas savings, but banks do have something called a holiday savings, or maybe it's a holiday club account, Christmas club account, and it accrues a tad bit higher interest than a regular share or savings account. So I would highly recommend looking into that as well. But for Christmas, I already told you in a couple of my other videos, I don't usually get my kid anything for Christmas. He usually gets, first of all, gifts from other people, including his father. His father has a million. His dad is very extra, so he gets him like 1,000,001 gifts. So I don't really make Christmas savings a priority at this time. This year, I do plan on getting him a tablet, so I'm gonna put the money aside for that. But for the most part, I don't really celebrate Christmas that heavily. But if you do, it's nice to have a Christmas savings so that you can save up for that throughout the year. Next is my shopping. This is for clothes and shoes, mainly for my son, but also for me. Definitely having that fund is very important, because I have to go shopping, especially for my kid, every year, every season, right? Because they grow like weeds. Kids grow so fast. So I always try to have that money already stashed aside. That is also money that I usually take out at the beginning of the year. I also recommend shopping on the off season so you don't spend that much money. Number five is my treat myself fund. Now I talked about this in my last video as well. The treat yourself fund is for the things that you want to do just on the weekends. I set a budget to $100 every 2 weeks for my spending fund. So that's $200 a month. And honestly, that's good enough. Sometimes I go over, but if I do, I just take it out of my next amount, which usually then I just stay my behind home, because yeah, I try not to go over budget. I love this fund though, because I put it on my Cash App card, something separate from my bank account, because sometimes when you're spending money in your regular checking account, you don't really know how much you're spending. But to avoid that, put it on a different card. If you have Chime or Cash App, use a card like that, something that you could just kind of, not disposable, but something that's just not tied to anything. You're not paying any bills out of that account. You don't really use that account. And then just keep that separate for just your spending money, because I do like getting my nails done. Sometimes I might want to go to brunch with my friends, and that's what I use that money for. 6 is your big purchase fund. This is for if you plan on buying a home, if you plan on doing major renovations in your home. Also, if maybe you're planning on upgrading your car. The big purchases, that's what that's for, okay? I recommend keeping all of these accounts separate. So as I'm listing these, I have a separate account for each. And a lot of you are thinking how many bank accounts I have. I actually have 11. Keep those separate, but especially for the big purchase fund, because that should not be mixed in with any other account. You might want to buy new furniture for your home, things like that. I'm actually working on that savings now that I have my emergency fund fully funded, which is my next one. But yeah, I try to make sure that I have my big purchase fund, because you should be able to save up throughout the year, and you might want to put it in a savings account that accrues high interest. Currently I'm at Capital One, but there's also like Ally Bank and a few other ones that you can look at that accrues high interest. Okay, which brings me to my next one, which is my emergency savings. Now for this one, I'm gonna have to kind of get into it with you, because this is so important. How much you want to save is really up to you, okay? Sometimes it's just 3 to 6 months. For other people, it may be a year. It's all about what makes you feel comfortable. For me, I wanted to get mine at least 10,000, because that is 1 year of my expenses. I am currently debt free, so I don't pay a lot of anything. Also, or maybe if something happens with my job, or maybe if I get ill and I can't work, or maybe something happens and I want to quit my job, that is what that is for. Once you become debt free, you want to have that well funded, okay? In the beginning, it is okay to have $1,000. That's what Dave Ramsey suggests. But after that, yeah, you definitely want to get that, grow that as much as possible. You should not have to be worried about your job or anything. And you know, nothing is guaranteed. So you want to make sure to have that for just in case. It's very, very important. As you see with COVID, people were losing their jobs. Anything can happen. Number 8 is for copays. I used to have this one. I actually took it out because I don't go to the doctor often, nor does my son, and my copays are really, really low. But at first I did have a $350 savings for copays throughout the year, because my son was going to the doctor a lot and I had to do that $20 copay. But now he probably goes like once a year, and there was really no point of it for me. I just said, okay, I'll just pay for it when it's time. You know, the eye doctors and stuff, I just pay for it. But it is something that I do recommend if you go to the doctor often. Also, if you have like very, very high copays, you might want to look into that. You might want to also check out HSAs, which I'm not going to get into that here because I personally don't have one and I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard about it and it's highly recommended from a lot of people. All right, number 9 is my lazy fund. This one I put a pretty good amount. There are times where I just don't feel like cooking dinner. There are times where I don't feel like going grocery shopping. There are times where I just don't feel like doing anything at all, and I have that lazy fund for that reason. I try to make my life easier, and I've been using this more frequently because I'm kind of spoiled with Instacart. I'm not gonna lie, DoorDash and all of those things, I'm kind of spoiled. So paying the fees, I really don't mind if it's gonna cause convenience in my life, if that makes sense. Like, I would rather have the convenience of not having to do those things. So I definitely have a fund for that. And it's a pretty big fund because, like I said, sometimes I'm just not up to it. Especially with grocery shopping. I do not like going grocery shopping at all anymore. Like, Instacart me, please. But that's another fund that I would recommend because you want to do it guilt-free. You don't want to have to dip into your account and see your account balance go down so much and you're like, oh, well, maybe I should just get up and go to the grocery store. No, you want to be able to have that choice. So that's what I have that fund for. And number 10 is the Cosmetic Fund. I actually don't have this one, but this is recommended for people who are wanting to save up maybe for some kind of surgery. You might want to get your teeth done. You might want to get, you know, your body done, your nose done, whatever. But I do recommend having the savings. I see a lot of people using things like care credit, but you shouldn't want to go into a lot of debt for cosmetic surgeries. You should want to have some money. I mean, it's okay to use the care credit and things like that. I'm not saying that, but you don't want to get into a lot of debt. This is ways to avoid using your credit card or getting a loan. So, but it is something that I know a lot of people are doing nowadays, so that's why I wanted to add it in here. So that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. Are there any savings accounts that you kind of like, that you might be interested in doing, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all on the next video. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at @theupgrade_Kiki. Okay, I'm gonna start posting on there a lot more. All right, and I'll see you all on the next video.